and clear.
Okay.
Thank you, Iris, for joining our wonderful Passover listings interview, where we ask all the wonderful Passover program operators and owners and Jewish kosher owners and travelers what you guys are doing this Pesach. So before we jump in, I just want to let the audience know here as they join live, feel free to ask any questions you would like. You can leave questions in the comments field here on this live video for Iris. This is an interview we're doing with Gill Travel, guys. This year, they've been around for a long time, and they're doing a wonderful Passover program this year in Bahrain. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Did I get that right?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay, terrific. So before we jump into Gill Travel, where is Bahrain? How close is it to maybe Dubai and other places that people are more familiar with? Maybe give a little bit of a geographical
Sure.
location.
So Bahrain is a little island, and it is about 1 hour by plane from Dubai. It's about 3 hours from Israel, about 6 hours from Europe, very near Qatar, a wonderful little tiny island in the Middle East.
That's great. And is it easy to get there if people wanted to fly from like Europe and Israel, and if some people wanted to come from the United States? Can you talk about maybe the flight situation quickly before we dive in? How easy is it to get to Bahrain these days?
Sure. So from Israel, as I said, there are direct flights. From Europe, there are direct flights. From the United States, there are many connections via Dubai and via Europe.
Great. So let's talk about Gill Travel, right? How long have you guys been around for? Maybe talk about a little bit of other things that you've done in the kosher travel world. That would be helpful for our guests to understand who Gill Travel is and what you guys have done.
Sure.
Great.
So next year, we'll be celebrating 50 years.
Wow.
We started Gill Travel in 1974. At first, it was really only to Israel. And for a long time, it was to Israel. Then we, in the 90s, we began to add other Jewish heritage destinations. And we work with individuals in many groups, mostly Jewish groups. And among those Jewish groups, there are many kosher travelers. Some groups are all kosher. And we have developed and learned to be able to have kosher meals and kosher food throughout the world. So it could be in Morocco, it could be in India, it could be in China, it could be in Argentina,
Wow.
Dubai, etc., Bahrain, etc. Sometimes we have to say that it's not the easiest thing to do, but we have a lot of experience and a lot of great partners that help us out.
That's amazing. I mean, 50 years. You do not know, I mean, I don't know, and I've been in this business for a while, that many programs that have been around or operations for 50 years. That's a long time, so well established. Thank you for that. So let's gear more towards the Passover industry and
Right.
program that you're doing in lovely Bahrain this year. So the first question always everyone has is about the price, right? So I always like to kind of compare apples to apples. And so what does it cost for the entire Passover stay, not including the Shabbat after? Let's keep it simple here. For a couple, for two adults, a couple in one standard room. So one standard room, two adults. What's the cost for just that Passover stay?
So the cost for a couple in a king studio room is $7,950. The rooms we have, we're working with a hotel, the Hilton Manama, which is a new hotel. It opened last August, and it is a family hotel, and the rooms are quite large. So the smallest room is about 400 square feet.
Okay.
So if you think that many rooms are 25 square meters, which is about 200 square feet, this is quite larger. They all have either a little kitchenette or a big kitchen. So they're very family oriented.
Great, great. And so $7,950 for a couple in a standard room. That's terrific. Great. It's a wonderful price. Um, let's get into the program itself. Can you talk a little about the program? Maybe let's start with the crowd. Everyone always wants to know what the crowd is like. You know, it's part of whenever we ask people, like, what's the most important thing outside reviews of the program? It's all about what types of people are attending that program that's going to really make it so much fun for everybody. So, can you talk about the types of people that are planning to attend? Are they more on the religious side? Are they more modern? Are they more from Europe, from America? Is it going to be a mix, right? So maybe talk a little about that, and then talk about the program itself for folks.
Great. So I think that, it is definitely modern Orthodox. There will be people there from various countries, people who love to travel, people who love to see new places, who love to explore, sort of territories that are not as well known. Certainly Bahrain is one of them.
Yep, it is.
So that's what we're expecting from Israel, from Europe, from the States. We've had requests from South Africa. So I would say that would be the crowd. And
Right.
that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for a global crowd that will also be welcomed by the small Jewish community of Bahrain.
That's amazing. So what it sounds like is like you're going to be getting people from all walks of life, all different types of countries and levels. You know, that's great. So talk about the program. I know you're going to have a kids program. You know, obviously for the adults to let loose a little bit and leave the kids into a beautiful kids program. Talk about the hotel, maybe what the hotel offers, how many pools, also what the weather's like in Bahrain. I'm curious myself. Is it going to be hot? Is it going to be warm? Anything you can tell us about the program would be great. More details.
So the weather in Bahrain in April is it's the beginning of spring, and it is a beautiful summer weather, our summer weather. It's not hot because in the month of July and August it can get up to 100 degrees.
Wow.
So this month, during the month of March and April, it's 70s, 80s.
Wow.
Could be, yes. In the evening it's a little cooler because it's desert like. And the hotel is has a great pool. It is located in a really wonderful place where people can walk around and walk to a mall and walk on a boardwalk. So in that sense, it's going to be, very easy for people to step out of the hotel by foot.
Right.
We have been given the entire 44th floor with an amazing view, where it's going to be our dining place and the kosher kitchen. And the lounge and the kids program partly will be there, partly will be near the pool. So we are going to have counselors that are going to be there for the kids all day long. Of course, again, because we don't know exactly what the ages will be, we are going to wait it out to see exactly what we need to do for the kids.
Right.
But certainly counselors will be well equipped with that.
That's great. And remind me, I mean, how far are you guys away from the beach? If people want to go, is there a beach right there, or?
The beach is not very far at all,
Okay.
but you have to go by car.
You have to go by car. Okay, great, perfect. So,
but there are a lot of activities for kids during Chol HaMoed. They can go swimming with dolphins. They can go boating. They can go snorkeling. They can go pearl fishing. The older kids. Bahrain had a very big commerce for pearls, and they continue to do that. They can go on camel rides, on jeep rides through the desert. There's also Bahrain is the home of Formula One racetrack, so they can go, race tracking in the racetrack. There are a lot of activities that can be done.
So it's
with the kids.
sounds like it's like a very it's for people who want to also relax by the pools and beach, but if you want to have an action-packed adventure, Bahrain is can be times this year in Dubai, right? And Bahrain, being very close to Dubai and Israel. How does Gil travel? Talk about the differentiation between Gil Travel and some of the other programs out there. What do you guys maybe bring to the table that um, uh, that's different than what's been out there over the years? And why would people want to outside obviously Bahrain, but are there other things that we can talk to that attract people to Gil Travel, Bahrain, or other areas that you want people to be aware of?
Right. So so Dubai is also a brand new programs because it basically happened after the Abraham Accords, and that's really what initiated the influx of tourism to this area of the world. It's a very exciting times. Bahrain is doing a lot of new business with Israel, like Dubai,
Hmm.
and they're very welcoming.
Hmm.
They want
And
people.
it's very safe too, right? In
It's a
Bahrain,
very,
it's just.
yes, it's very safe. The interesting part about Bahrain that does not happen in Dubai
Mhm.
is that Bahrain has had a Jewish community since the late 1800s,
Ah, okay.
and they live very much in peace with their people, with
I know that.
Muslims, with
Mhm.
Christians. It's something very, very interesting to see. They have a beautiful little
Mhm.
synagogue,
Mhm.
uh, and they received the Torah. Um, so there's a new rabbi that came from Shanghai. He will be with us.
Mhm.
He will be with us through the Shurim and other programs.
Mhm.
He has done these programs in Shanghai, so he's very well versed. So basically, it is an exciting program. It's new. It's interesting. We'll have interesting speakers that will talk to us about living in peace with our neighbors and what does it mean to live cohesively. I think
That
it's
sounds
a
amazing.
really place to come.
Yeah, it sounds amazing, and it seems like there's a lot of. I didn't know that there was a Jewish history, since the 1800s. So there's a lot of Jewish culture that I'm sure people want to go out and. So actually, that leads me to one of my last questions here is talk about the excursions. Like, so if people want to go out and get out of the hotel, there's obviously not much Chol this year, unfortunately for folks, but what can they do? Obviously if they want to branch out of the hotel, what are like some of the outside the adventure stuff? Are there specific tours or excursions that you can touch upon?
Yes, so they're interesting cultural tours. There's a wonderful museum. There is a fort, which is a very interesting place for people to visit. You can even go horseback riding around the fort. There is a wonderful Arab souk, which actually the synagogue is in the souk, and people can go and bargain and shop. Um, there is also a very grand mosque, which is a wonderful thing to see. We've actually had people ask us to go to Saudi Arabia. Uh,
Uh,
there's a bridge that connects Bahrain to Saudi Arabia.
right,
Uh, there are people who do that. Americans can go to Saudi Arabia. They need a visa. You can go to Dubai for the weekend. It's only an hour away.
right. And
So,
think I think you mentioned, correct me if I'm wrong, if people want to spend the Shabbat afterwards,
correct.
they can go to Dubai very easily,
Yes.
which is nice. That's a nice little tidbit.
It will help them through the entire kosher procedures there as
That's
well.
great. Okay. Oh, very interesting. Okay. Terrific. I have one last question, but before I do, is there anything else that you want to add that we didn't touch upon that is interesting for folks to be aware of or know?
Well, I think that hopefully you'll feel comfortable with Guild Travel, that it has been around and seen and practice and experience a lot of things, and we will be there for you from A to Z. We don't only handle the Passover program, we have an amazing air department that will be able to help you if you want to go on any excursions before or after, to stop in Europe. We're there for you to do
Right.
everything from A to Z.
Like a one-stop shop,
Correct.
which is a little different, which is nice. Maybe a little bit more, exclusive, intimate, that personal connection. That's great. So I always ask program operators this, whether they're in the Passover industry or in the other, Jewish kosher world. Thousands of people come to Passover listings every year, finding a Passover program. And there's so many, there's over, in some cases, some years, there's over 100 Passover programs. What's your advice that you give people who don't know where to go and they don't know where to start? So what advice would you give them to really help narrow down their decision making, right? To help make it easy for them to pick, a program that meets their needs, meets their requirements, and they can obviously have a wonderful memory and beautiful time at. What would you recommend there?
Well, I think that people have to look inside themselves and understand who they are, and what exactly is the ages of the kids, and how much are they willing to go out, a little bit out of their comfort zone, to go to a place like Bahrain rather than go to a wonderful place in the U.S. So I really think that people really need to think, if they've been to many other places and you are a little bit experimental, come on,
Let's
try
do it.
something new.
Right.
Do it.
Absolutely.
You only live
Be,
once.
take the adventure. Yeah, you only live once. Yeah, like, absolutely. I love that. I love that. That's great. Well, Iris, thank you. And so again, guys, obviously, if you want to find them, if you want to reach out to them, you can reach out to them. You can find them on PassoverListings.com, as you guys are well aware of. And you can contact them via Passover Listings. If you want to go direct, you can reach them on their website at giltravel.com. Thank you. Iris, again, thank you so much for your time. Feel free, guys, to reach out to us directly if you have questions. If you have questions, you can always reach out to Iris and team at Gil Travel. Wonderful program here in Bahrain. 50 years they've been around for. Try them out. Passover programs this year. It's a new one, and it's going to be amazing. So check them out, and thank you again. We'll talk
Thank
soon.
you.
Take
Bye
care.
bye. Hello.
Bye-bye.